Hello Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we get to catch up on current events and headlines that are in the news as always. My name is Priska Agnolo and you are watching NMH at 1. Let us have a look at the incoming news this morning. During the show today, you will see that retired Army General Martin Shali has caused quite a stir after he was recorded on a video clip where he encouraged party cadres at a SWAPO rally in Okanja to kill opposition members. The Minister of Justice, Yvonne Dowseb, has in the meantime twittered, "It is not correct to ascribe those utterances to the party. It was something unfortunate said by a member, which we advise must be unconditionally retracted." And the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism keeps warning about the fire threat in Namibia. It did diminish a little after the serious bushfires that destroyed more than 100,000 hectares of valuable pasture and woodlands. The photo is a screenshot made of a NASA internet page published as Fire Information for Resource Management System, showing all of the localized dangers. And now we move on to our COVID-19 update. We look at the overall COVID-19 data for Namibia. By Thursday, the country had tested more than 124,000 individuals, with retests standing at 6,359. Of the 41 new cases announced yesterday, 16 are connected to funerals held at the town of Rehoboth. This shows how important social distancing and hygiene protocols remain in order to curb the spread of the disease. Of Namibia's total of 13,211 cases so far, only 1,472 are considered active. The recovery rate thus moved up to 88%. Only one new fatality was recorded last week. Over the 7 days up to Thursday, an average of 676 new individuals were tested daily. This is substantially lower than the previous averages of more than 1,500 tests per day during the height of local transmission. The number of individuals in quarantine further decreased to 381. Over the 7 days up to Saturday, 374 persons entered quarantine, while 502 were discharged. More than 19,000 individuals have been quarantined since March. And as always,
what's happening, everybody?
as always, next we bring you video news clips from around the country. During the past weekend, the retired Army General Martin Shali caused a huge upstir on internet media when a video clip emerged that shows him encouraging SWAPO party supporters to kill opposition leaders. We only cut out a short part to illustrate what Shali had to say.
I know that's fine. I know translate. You have to hear.
such people of such characters who would stand today and speak on behalf of the party and later be traitors of the party and later start to establish new political organization. They must excuse us on earth. Sorry.
En moet doodgemaakt worden. Maar mag niet geschiet worden. Niet? En het moet geslacht worden.
Altijd kom je niet nog.
Slag de donders, joh.
That's a general. That's a
I know.
Such people, they shouldn't be shot. They shouldn't be gunned down. They should be slaughtered.
Altijd kom je niet nog. Yeah.
Population vinekelelwa okuyanja matumala ko swapo no kuinekelelwa bakwa swapo ba address no bakwa swapo then nataka tanukirwa swapo ano abana kuturo minino ai nakala akaturo minino.
So, dear brothers and brothers and sisters.
O hero kome o mama mama tinuka dona.
And there you have it. Moving on, during the Namibia Tourism Expo 2020 that just came to an end this past Saturday evening, the Tourismus Namibia magazine broadcast its live show as they always do on Saturdays. The difference was that this time they also announced the final winner of the Tourist of the Year competition that had been running over the past 6 months. Have a look at the final announcement.
Right, you were probably wondering why we showed those two clips. B, obviously, they contributed in a big way because they made it possible for us all to sanitize whenever we needed to. But then furthermore, more specific to Tourist of the Year, you saw I had that little compilation of pictures which Viva Energy made available to us. They're obviously the provider of Shell products. And so it was important for me to show you that they are involved as well. And yeah, and this brings us to the moment, is it not so?
So, who will it be? Who will the Tourist of the Year be? Will it be Helvi or Soleil, Tina Israel, Klaus and Helga or Rolf and Heike?
Yeah, it is really, yeah, I don't know if people out there that listen much, maybe we can hear. What do you think? Who's won? Nobody much coming up yet. Yeah, it is really my privilege now to announce the winner for this year. And the winner was from Nankuse. It was Tina Jamba.
The country continues to remain one of the most sought-after tourist destinations. It is for this very reason that we want to take you on a journey to show you what it's like to travel in Namibia.
Yeah, some of you will remember that little video clip that we played there. That was the beginning of her video clip. As you can see, I've got a nice little certificate here. Tina and Israel, obviously Tina didn't go there alone. And Tina, so how was the whole experience for you?
Sure, where do I start? It was memorable. It's one of those initiatives that I'm very grateful that NMH, Tourismus Namibia, Vivo Energy Namibia, and all the other lodging accommodations, Nankusa Foundation Collection, Godwana Collection, ONL, Journeys Namibia, for all coming together to make this possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you took part, and I'm glad you guys actually enjoyed it. Once again, thank you to all the people who took part. But it is my privilege. Unfortunately, we cannot stand, otherwise you won't see me. But let me congratulate you. And this is your little certificate. But I think the more important part almost for you is probably this one. It is by Shell. They have sponsored a 10,000 prize for you. Unfortunately, we couldn't have everybody up here, but I'm sure they would want to have a photo with you afterwards. Best of luck. Thank you for taking part once more. And hopefully with this sort of initiative next year, we can carry on and get many more people to.
Also, as part of the Namibia Tourism Expo, the Bridal Couple of the Year was announced. The winners of this year's competition were Joel and Rebecca Elu, with Sharon and Livingston Isaacs taking the second prize, while Nico and Renette Skoltz came third. Do take a look.
So dames en here, ons bruide het ongelooflike, hulle het hulle rokke aan. Hulle lyk flippin' fabulous. En ek dink hierdie gaan interessant wees. Ons gaan 'n bietjie laat dans vandag. So ons gaan 'n bietjie gek skeer. En natuurlik, those are our guests of honor. The finalist couples. We'd also like to welcome the family and friends who came for moral support. We are the friends and family. Daar staan hier soos julle. Daarso. Is julle ook daarso agter vir 'n familie? Fantasties. Hey, daar's bordjies. Julle gaan ietsie wen vandag. Ek is seker. Oom, daai arm gaan baie moeg raak. Hy gaan moeg raak. Jy moet seker guns. Okay, nee, hy's fine. Hy's fine. Daar's hy. Awesome. Let's get the show on the road. Can we please get all the couples on the stage? Our finalist couples for this year are Roger and Janine. There we go. Yay! Conroy and Tanya Goliath, Livingston and Sharon Isaacs, Justin and Ruweda, Gershwin and Izan, Jan and Chantal, Cameron and Priscilla Petersen, and then last but not least, Niku and Renette. Almost all on the stage. Hello, julle. Julle lyk almal baie mooi. Say, kom aan mense, maak 'n bietjie geraas. Hey! Do you know how long it must have taken them to get into these dresses? Hoe siggie man hier so. It's okay. The pressure is gone. The pressure is gone. You're all married now. Can we get a round of applause for them, people? Ora City Ferrari in super zeker. Jy was nog nooit te gevaar nie, maar nou wil jy met die bedaar nie. En nou het verby. Sappige as kamoenen gekoop nie. In jou hart lees steeds by my, maar ek het nie wat hy het nie. En by ons sal ek jou kry. Ek onthou jou nog soos gister, maar dis als verbrande as. En ek kyk nie toe jy wegvaai, soos jy versê, kom hang my stewig vas. 54-50 straat het ek vir jou gestaan, en die oogies daar by staan. is vir jou spesiaal aan jou vrou?
Daar is niks so spesiaal soos haar smile. Kyk, ek werk op 'n myn en as jy sommige daar pick-up, maar jy kom by die huis en jy sien die smile, dan is die pick-up die moeite werd.
Klein bietjie wyn van my, klein bietjie wyn van my en op vir jou. Oh, Anna, gee jou hand, Anna, gee jou hand, Anna, gee jou hand, laat ek voel of jy op brand. Anna, jy's my blom, hey, jy's my blom, Anna, jy's my blom, wat van die onderveld afkom. Klein bietjie wyn, klein bietjie wyn, klein bietjie wyn van my, klein bietjie wyn van my. I see you, I'll take up my phone.
Wel, dit was liefde op eerste slag toe sy my brei agtergekom het van haar kant af. En ja nee, daai aand, dit het eers so 'n paar whiskies gevat voor ek die courage gehad het om haar te gaan vra vir 'n dans op Dis 'n Lekker Ou Jan. En ja, ek dink toe die dans klaar is en later die aand so 'n bietjie handkontak gehad het en in die oë kyk, toe sit verby. Dis die diamant by my.
Ladies and gentlemen, our third runners up are Nico and Renee. Kom mense, lekker aan die klap. Waar is hy kan nie word? Hey! Well done, julle. And the second prize, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Livingston and Sharon. Woo-hoo! Julle moet onthou hulle trourokke aan, mense. Hulle kan nie ophardloop hier nie. Hulle het hulle kekkies aan. Soms het hulle gin gekry. Vat by. Saligheid. Well done, guys. And finally, Republicans' bridal couple of the year is, can you guess? Wie dink julle? Ek kan nie hoor nie. Jullie lijken die over die meeste feest. Come on, mensen. Who do you think is the winning bride couple? Republicans' bridal couple of the year, Joe and Rebecca!
Wedding bike.
Looking at the front pages of various Namibian papers today, we see that the Algemeine Zeitung leads on page 1 with the continuation of the Conradi and Damasus trial, which now has been in and out of the Namibian courts since the middle of 2012. The case revolves around well-known attorney Dirk Conradi, who in his then capacity as the chairman of the mobile telecommunications service provider MTC, supposedly promised a lucrative advertising contract to the value of 60 million Namibian dollars to DV8 Saatchi & Saatchi if they were prepared to engage with or employ his acquaintance Sarah Damasis. On its page 1, Renel Rademacher of the Republican takes a look at what Africa stands to gain as a result of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris having respectively been elected as the next president and vice president of the United States of America. She obtained opinions from local political commentators as well as from South Africa. The Namibian Sun again leads with a politically loaded incident where the retired general of the Namibian Army, Martin Shali, called upon SWAPO supporters to kill political opponents. That was obviously the subject of the video clip that you saw earlier. The retired general subsequently defended his action, explaining that these words, which had been uttered in the Oshivambo, then English, and again in the Afrikaans languages, were intended to be figurative speech only. The Namibian also leads with the retired General Martin Shali's transgression, but pursues another angle. They thus found that the reason for Shali not having been taken to task after transgressing the code of conduct put down by the Electoral Commission of Namibia is that no formal complaint has been lodged with the ECN. That does, however, seem to be a strange excuse, if it can be called that, considering the fact that a formal charge has been laid in the Windhoek police station by the opposition party PDM. New Era reports on its main pages about the visit of the Namibian president, Hage Geingob, who attended a political rally of the ruling party and encouraged his political colleagues to make every effort to reclaim Walvis Bay constituency for the SWAPO party. And on the inside of our country's newspapers, you'll be able to read up on the following. On its page 3, the Algemeine Zeitung has an interesting report about a new initiative whereby German-speaking Namibians are in the process of establishing an interest group that represents that part of the Namibian population. The idea is to engage and commit towards developing Namibia to the benefit of all. Persons such as Professor Gerhard Tutemeyer, a previous Chief Electoral Officer of Namibia, and Anton von Wietersheim are among the people who insist that German-speaking Namibians should not become a marginalized group, but should instead get involved and actively contribute towards the good of the country. The Republican newspaper on its page 3 reports that a previous mayor of Windhoek, Vivian Gregg, has now for 2 weeks in a row been the target of burglars. The second burglary saw her and her husband, as well as the youngest daughter, coming under extreme danger, as the burglars clearly were not content to only take whatever they could lay their hands on, but literally tried to break down an additional security gate in order to get to the couple and their daughter. Fortunately, the police and security personnel arrived before the situation got out of hand and in fact were able to arrest 2 of the robbers. The Namibian Sun on page 3 carries a report about the apparent fatal shooting of 4 people who were found to be fishing illegally near the village of Kasika in the vicinity of Kasane. The Botswana Defense Force is known to allow a shoot-to-kill approach as regards to poaching. The Namibian Police Commander, Lieutenant General Sebastian de Tunga, assured the paper that the incident is being investigated. On its page 3, the Namibian reports about a South African citizen, Martinus Pretorius, who has been found guilty of rape and trafficking after paying for and having had sex with 2 minor girls in 2012. New Era on page 3 also writes about the incident of the retired army general who encouraged SWAPO party cadres to kill opposition leaders. Martin Shali maintains that he spoke figuratively, but that is questioned somewhat, as he said they should not be shot, their throats should be slit. Today we do not have a long interview, but have a look at this clip where Steffi Balsar spoke to Panduleni Ngipandulwa of the Namibian Institute for Democracy. He spoke about the upcoming elections and the role of the NID when it comes to voter education.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that all is well with you. My name is Panduleni Ngipandulwa and I'm the Program Manager for Namibia Institute for democracy. This is an exciting year in the sense that Namibia will be hosting its 2020 Regional Council and Local Authority elections. So many people don't understand the importance of these elections. So there's usually a lot of hype around the Presidential and National Assembly, but when it comes to the regional and local, we have a low voter turnout usually. But to me, these elections are even much more important than the national elections because we are voting for people that are supposed to provide us with basic services. So the regional and local government consists of the decentralized government. It represents Namibia's decentralized government, and we are voting for people that live in our communities, that live in our local authorities, which is Windhoek, Rehoboth, and so on and so forth. And these people are supposed to bring development. So especially when it comes to young people don't really understand the importance of voting. I've engaged with a few young people, and what they're saying is that no, I won't participate in elections. Many of them have not registered to vote, and yet they complain about not being represented in government. So it's important for young people to realize that their vote has a lot of power, and then they have the power to make a difference within their communities by choosing representatives that will bring basic services to the people. So if you're young and you're not sure whether you should participate, I would encourage you to participate in these elections, because through these elections you can make your voice heard. So voting is not only your right, but it's your power. So NID is conducting multiple programs in order to empower the public about and teach them about the electoral process and the democracy and how they can actively participate in creating better communities for themselves. So part of that program, what we are doing is we have a civic education program. We work with high school learners. We teach them about their rights, role and responsibilities as citizens, as well as how can they actively participate in the democratic process. We also have a workshop recently that's called the Youth and Church's Democratic Influence, where we work with church groups. The church is one of the most powerful civil society organizations, and the church, we think, has an important role to play in mobilizing the people and getting the people to participate in this democracy. So we train church leaders in order for them to also capacitate their congregation. I encourage young people and everyone as Namibian citizens to get more involved. Find out how you can participate in creating a better country for all of us. Thank you.
If you want peace, never start war. They might help us, but this is our
And with that, we have reached the end of today's lunchtime show, but look forward towards engaging with you again tomorrow and for the rest of the week. I've been your host, Priska Agnolo, and thank you so much for watching and supporting us here at NMH. Please do join us again at the same time and at the same place tomorrow. And until then, stay safe and healthy. Goodbye, Namibia.